All right, so I believe these have re-released or retroed previously. I can't find any true information on the shoe itself, which is really weird. But when I look up the shoe on GOAT, they have some of the previous releases listed there. So like there was Supreme versions, meaning collabs with Supreme. There were some other collabs on there. There were premium editions where they were built with more premium materials, I suppose, even though I doubt that. But it's 2022 now, and they're back once again. Man. Smelled like the 80s. Yo, what's good guys? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today we got a detailed look and breakdown on these semi-bad boys, kind of. This is the Nike Terminator, not Nike Air Terminator because there is no air in this shoe. So the name is just Nike Terminator, which is a very similar looking shoe to the shoe that I thought that this was when I initially saw it, which is the big Nike High, which kind of looks like a Dunk and this shoe put together, where it's got the giant Nike branding on the back, but it's got a little bit more overlay panels similar to a Dunk. But anyways, these guys are back. They are in a Nike sportswear box, meaning it's a Nike sportswear release, meaning they're made not very well, which is really unfortunate, man. Like, this is one of them shoes where I don't know if Nike's trying to catch up as quickly as possible with that like Dunk wave that we have going on right now. So they're trying to like go into their archives and pick models that they've already released before, so they kind of have the blueprints too, so that they can re-release them again quickly before the hype dies out. That's how this feels to me. Again, when I look up information on it, all these sneaker blogs, all these sneaker news places, they only depict what this shoe is and when it's coming out. There literally is no real information that I can find as of right now. Maybe there's an obscure website that I don't know about. If there is, please let me know because I'd love to read it. But outside of that, I can't find no information on these, man, which is really unfortunate because you'd think that the brand would want you to know kind of what these are about. So the shoe originally released as part of the Be True to Your School pack. We've talked about that pack before when we reviewed the Iowa Dunks, I believe it was, the black and yellows. This obviously is part of the Georgetown line, so this was not for the school of Iowa, it was for the school of Georgetown, the Hoyas. Their PE editions of the shoe actually said Hoyas on the back. Ooh. I know, pretty cool. Whereas all of the retail versions in the same color and same tech specs released just like this with the giant Nike branding instead. Now this shoe originally released in 1985. However, I do have issue number 1 of Kicks magazine by Slam, which is awesome. And inside there, it's a timeline, at least up until that point, which I believe was 1999 or 1998. This is also where this shoe made its debut. So this is how everybody saw this for the first time outside of being on the feet of MJ in the finals right before this magazine released. But anyways, they depict every single Nike basketball release up until the point of this magazine's launch. And so right here, you can see where it says 1986 and then the Terminator. So I don't know if this magazine maybe is a little bit wrong or if perhaps the story is wrong. I don't know, because these did debut with the Be True to Your School pack, which is true, and that was in 1985, which is a fact. So I'm wondering if maybe that little red dot was just kind of misplaced a little bit. I'm not sure. But all I know is that if you can find this magazine on eBay or something, man, I highly recommend it, yo. Like, this is crazy. It's got all kinds of stuff in here. They got Scottie Pippen. They got this whole thing. These were the new shoes at the time, by the way. Those are awful, but I want a pair. Tim Hardaway's T-Bug shoe, still want a pair. Why is that retroed? The Pippen 2s, where the f are those? Dude, look at all this beautiful stuff. There's so much of it. Oh, yes. But anyways, look at that guy right there. That's Eric Avar. He's a legend. Yeah, it just kind of talks about all the stuff that Avar's designed and things like that. It's a great magazine, highly recommend. If you don't have it, go find it. Now back to these guys. What we have here is herringbone traction. This feels great as far as durability is concerned. It just sucks because there's no cushion in the shoe. What? So for those of you guys that don't know, the way that the shoes are named is the way that the shoes are marketed, which means that's what's in the shoe. So again, this is not the Nike Air Terminator, this is just the Nike Terminator. Same thing with all the branding on the product and everything. It just says Nike, doesn't say Nike Air, like what we get with the Airship PE or an Air Jordan 1 or whatever. Same thing with those KOs, the AJKO or whatever. It's got that logo on there, not the Nike Air logo, because again, same tech specs, which is which means that this midsole right here is just a simple rubber cup sole. It's no different than what you would see on a pair of Dunks, not SB Dunks, those are a little bit different, or any other cup soled shoe. So inside of there looks really interesting. It's kind of like a hollowed out midsole or a cup sole, and all of those little rubber points that are kind of like flexible and hollow are there so that they can bend and maneuver with pressure and stuff, so they're not complete bricks, even though they're not very comfortable as they are. They could have made them a little bit more comfortable, but this is all that they gave you for the insole, which is a big bummer. But you could fix that very soon because Move actually has a casual insole coming out that they've already teased online, so now I can talk about it. So that thing is hella comfortable. It's polyurethane. We should be doing a review soon, so stay tuned for that.
Excellent.
Now, as far as the materials are concerned, they're okay. There is actual leather used in the shoe, so it's not a complete waste of materials and things like that. However, the shape of the shoe looks really weird. From here back looks great. It looks just like, you know, every picture that I've seen and all of that stuff, but it's this little piece of the toe, man. It's so squared and boxy, and it just really doesn't look right, especially when I put them on. Like, it just feels like they're like really weirdly shaped, and it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel vintage. It doesn't feel original. It almost feels like they're bootlegs, but they're not. Now, as far as the way that the leather feels, you know what I mean? What do they call it? Mid? That's the new kids? Yeah, it feels mid. Again, it's actual leather. It just doesn't feel great. I think mostly it's the polyurethane coat that's on there. It's just really stiff and almost rubbery or plasticky feeling. This toe panel right here, this gray one, doesn't even feel like actual leather. Like, that feels like a piece of vinyl, but like really bad vinyl, not even like nice vinyl. So it's a real bummer that they are made like this, because I know a lot of people are interested in this shoe. I get comments and DMs and all that stuff all the time about these things, being like, hey, you're gonna check out the new Terminator coming up? Here they are, and they're not anything special, unfortunately. Like, it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, it's nice that they're back, but are they like a must buy? One thing to note is that they're going to be releasing more colorways. It won't just be this one. There's a really clean white and black look. There's some white and green ones and all that stuff. Again, it was part of the Be True to Your School pack, so you saw a lot of team colorways in this model way back in the 80s. Now, as far as their sizing is concerned, you can do one of two things. You can go true to size and they fit okay. However, I did do the finger rule, where you stick one in the back, and if it's snug but you can fit it in there, then it's perfectly true to size. If you could fit two fingers in there comfortably, then they're a little bit big, and that's what happened to me. They're a little bit big, especially with the way that this thing is like oddly shaped. So like when I flex the toe, like it just kind of bumps and moves a little weird. Like, it just, from my perspective, when I'm looking down, it doesn't look good. I'm sure from the side they look great, but from the toe down view, it just wasn't great. And again, if you want a perfect one-to-one fit, go down half a size. However, if you are going to be replacing that insole, because this thing is very cheap and thin, and you're going to be replacing it with anything else, those usually have a higher stack height in the heel. So you might want to go true to size, just so that it doesn't like mess up your foot and everything, because it might be too snug once you do that. And with that being said, I'm not sure when these are releasing. You guys probably know this by now. I don't talk about release dates anymore. Since the pandemic, everything's just been kind of like all kinds of not right. Like, the schedules are just messed up. So whenever these are releasing, there's your review. Hopefully everybody that wants a pair can get them. I would not pay $1 over retail for these. They are not worth it. I would probably wait for them to go on discount, because they're still not even really worth retail, in my opinion. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for all the support. Let us know what you think about these down below in the comment section. And with that being said, we will catch you on the next one. So until then, have a good one.